Good morning. So today I want to talk to you about 5 reasons why your credit scores may not be moving. Here is my top 5 reasons, and they go from the basic to a little bit of the head scratcher. So the first reason that you may feel like your credit scores are not moving is you may not be doing an apples to apples comparison. That's really important when you are trying to figure out whether or not your credit scores are moving. You cannot go from Credit Karma, which uses a Vantage scoring system, to a mortgage scored report and then determine that your credit scores have in fact not moved. They may be moving, but it is a completely different scoring system. And so when you are trying to determine whether or not your scores are flatlining, you must make sure you are doing an apples to apples comparison. So that is number one. Summary: make sure you are comparing the same scoring models. Number two, if in fact you are comparing the same scoring models, you also want to make sure that the date you are looking at on your credit report has in fact changed. This one stumps a lot of people, and it is very simple. When I tell you this, you are literally going to slap your forehead and go, oh my God, why did I not think of that? So most credit monitoring services, you will have to actually physically refresh the credit report, which means there is a button that you need to click on, whether it is purchase new report or it is refresh now. Look at the date on the credit report and make sure that you are looking at today's date. Don't assume that every time you log in, that credit report automatically refreshes. On Credit Karma, it will, at least once every 7 days. But most credit monitoring services have a period of time in which a new report is available. Usually that ranges from 30 days to 90 days, and it really depends on what plan you've signed up for. So make sure that the credit report that you are looking at is in fact a current, brand new report. Once you refresh it and the credit monitoring service accesses all the information coming from the credit bureaus, you may in fact have found that your credit scores have moved up. Number 3, the next most common reason for credit scores to go sideways is if you have maybe paid something down, say a credit card, but then you went out and you bought a new car, right? So we know it's important to reduce debt, but if we are reducing debt in, for example, on a revolving account, and then we go out and we buy a new vehicle, we've not only had new inquiries, but now we just have thumped our credit report with a brand new loan. Once you have a brand new loan on your credit report, it can take anywhere from 1 to 3 years to recover from that, right? So if it's a mortgage, it's going to take a long time. A car loan, not so long. Smaller loans, not quite as long as that. But just be aware that trading some reduced debt for some additional brand new debt is going to make your credit scores go sideways. Your credit card, and this is something that we have especially seen this last year, when there are uncertain financial times, which is definitely what we have found ourselves in 2020 and 2021, and you have the slow creep upwards of credit card balances. Those credit card balances slowly moving upward are going to make your scores go sideways, right? And in fact, they could actually be going down if you are getting those credit cards close to the credit limit, or if you've taken too many, if you've open too many accounts in too short of a period of time. So be aware of that. You do not want to let those scores go down or sideways because you are not able to manage your debt. So number 4, make sure that revolving debt isn't out of control. Okay, here's the last one, and this one I see fairly frequently. Many people have large student loan debt. You may have small student loan debt, but it's still student loan debt. And in 2020, much of that debt got put into deferment without you necessarily requesting for it to go into deferment, right? So typically when an item is deferred while you are in school, it is not gaining interest if it is a government subsidized loan, right? So it's a government backed debt. It's not gaining any interest while you're in school. Once you come out of school, if it goes into a deferment or a forbearance, typically interest is continuing to accrue. So if you are on an income-based repayment plan, if you have been on some sort of a hardship plan, or if your loans were put into forbearance, you may in very short time period find that you actually owe more than you borrowed. So when you are looking at your credit report, maybe your credit report shows that you borrowed $49,000 in student loans, but over time now you owe $55,000. I have seen many credit reports where the amount of interest that is accrued is far worse than the example that I am giving you right now. And so your credit report is going to reflect both the amount you borrowed and the amount you owe. When the amount you owe is way exceeds the amount you have borrowed, you are going to find that that is holding your credit scores underwater. You need to come up with a payment plan that works for you and your family to pay those student loans off as fast as possible. So the other number 5 biggest reason I see for scores to go sideways and have very difficulty going up is that the student loan debt is massive and you owe considerably more than you have actually borrowed. The credit report is now reflecting that, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get into those higher credit scores. So come up with a plan to pay that debt off as fast as possible. If you have any questions about anything that I have talked about here, please post them in the comments section. I love to answer your questions. I love to hear about your own personal experiences. Again, this is the top 5 reasons I see for scores to go sideways. Watch for my next video coming out, which is actually 5 more reasons that your loans, that your credit scores are stuck in the mud. They are not moving. You have tried all kinds of things and it just feels like they are just stuck. I'm going to give you 5 more reasons why. Watch for that video coming out. Thanks for taking this time with me. If you found this information useful, please like the video, please share it, and please click the subscribe button. Again, this is Lori with Director of Client Services at High Point Credit Advisors and Senior Advisor at Score Momentum. You can find us on Facebook. Have a great day.